Good morning, all my dear student of TYBSc physics class. In previous lecture, we have studied bisection method, algorithm for bisection method, and flowchart for bisection method. In this lecture, we are going to see the examples or problems regarding to bisection method, which are very important for exam point of view. And I already told you in previous lecture that this is very simple for you because you studied such type of problems at HSC level as well as at FY and SY BSc level. Okay. Now we are going to see the first problem. Using bisection method, find the root of this function f of x. This is a given function is equal to 0. Now solution for this function, which is nothing but here in this problem there is a given thing is that f of x is equal to x cube minus 1.8 x square minus 10x plus 20 is equal to 0. Okay. Now first of all, what we have to do? We have to put the value of x is equal to 0 in this function and find out the function f of 0. Okay. So by putting the value of x as a 0, then see here, when we substitute the value of x as a 0 in this equation, what we get? X is equal to 0, 0 into this 0, 0 into this 0, and simply we have 17. Value of f of 0 is 17. If we substitute the value of x is equal to 1, then we get 1 cube minus 1.8 into 1 cube minus 10 into 1 plus 70, and after solving this term we will get the value of f of 1 is equal to 6.2. Okay. Now when we substitute the value of x as a 2, then we will get f of 2, and simply 2 cube minus 1.8 into 2 minus 20 plus 70. When you solve this, you will get minus 2.2. Okay. Now here, see here, the closest value are these two, and f of 1 and f of 2 are very close to each other, and both are having opposite sign. Therefore, x0 is equal to 1 and x2 is equal to minus 2.2, or simply we can say, not 2, value f of, when we substitute the value of x is equal to 1, then we will get 6.2, and when we substitute the value of 2, x of 2, then we will get this. So these two values are very close. Now in first iteration first, we have f of x0 is equal to what? F of x0 is equal to, f of x0 is nothing but f of 1, and value of this is nothing but 6.2. Similarly, f of x1 is equal to f of 2, and value is nothing but minus 2.2. Okay. Now after then we have to calculate midpoint, and this midpoint is nothing but x2 is equal to x1 plus x2 upon 2. Substitute the value of x1 and x2. What is value of x1? 1 plus value of x2 is 2 upon 2. Solve this term, we will get 1.5. Okay. 1.5. Now when we substitute this value of x2, that is 1.5 in this function, then we have x2 is equal to what? Substitute the value of 1.5, 1.5 cube minus 1.8 into 1.5 square minus 10 into 1.5 plus 70. Solve this term, you will get the value. After solving this, we will get value 1.325. Okay. In this way, we get. Now, here by studying these two or by looking towards this result, here we can decide that f of 2 or what I say into f of 1.5 is less than 0. That means what? Here simply f of 2, that means x2. Okay. And if this result gives the value which is less than 0, obviously here root lies between x1 and x2. Root lies between x1 and x2. When root lies in between x1 and x2, what we have to do here? Here simply replace x0 by x2. And after replacing the 0, we will get the new interval. What is the new interval? 1.5 and 2. This is the new interval. 1.5 and 2. Value lies between these two. Again here one value is negative and another value is positive. So, the root lies between these two. That means what? Plus root lies between 1.325 and minus 2.2. Okay. Now, for second iteration, for iteration 2, for second iteration, what? x0 is equal to what? Same. x0 is equal to 1.5 and x1 is equal to what? 2. Okay. By similar way, we can calculate the midpoint. x2 is equal to x0 plus x1 upon 2, that means 1.5 plus 2 upon 2. Okay, are you got it? Okay. What is 3.5 upon 2? Okay. After solving this term, we will get 1.75. This is the value of x2. Then again substitute this value of x2 in this function, given function, then we will get f of x2 is equal to 1.75 cube minus 1.8 in bracket 1.75 bracket square minus 10 into 1.75 plus 70. Solve this term. After solving this term, you will get 0 minus 0. When you solve this term, you will get 0.653. Okay, 6.53125. Okay. When we will get this value, when we substitute the value of x here is 1.75. Hence, here f of 1.5 into f of 2, sorry, 1.75, not 2, 1.75. Again, this is less than 0. Therefore, when we solve this, we will get, take here the product of this 1.5 and 1.75 is less than 0, because this and this value, when you the result is always less than 0. Therefore, here what I want to say, when you solve this in second iteration, okay, sorry, okay, correct. When you solve this, you can find that the roots are lies between 1.5 and 1.75. Roots are lies in between these two, and therefore, that means next section, therefore replace x1 by x2, okay, and therefore for third iteration 3. Now iteration 3 x0 is equal to what? Let me know what is the value of x0 now? 1.5. And what is the value of x1? Is nothing but 1.75. Okay. Now again, by using these two values, we can find the midpoint, that is x2 is equal to x1 plus x2 upon 2. Substitute the value of x1 and x2, that is 1.5 plus 1.75 upon 2. When you solve this term, you will get 1.625. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to substitute this value of x2 in this function. When we substitute the value in this function, we get 1.625 cube minus 1.8, 1.625 bracket square minus 10 into 1.625 plus 70. Solve this. After solving this term, you will get the value, result is 0.2. Make this calculation by simply using calculator. You will get 0.287 first 3 digit, and after them 891. Okay. When you solve this term by using calculator, you will get this point, this result. Okay. Now again, this is the value of what? F of x2. Okay, correct. Before that, see here, before that we know f of 0 or simply f of x0. What is the value of f of 0? That is f of 1.5. When you substitute the value of, we will get 1.325. And f of x1, that means when you substitute the value of f of 1.75, then you will get the result minus where? Minus 0.653, 653 271. Okay. 653 125. 125. Okay. This is the value. And then last f of x2 is equal to this value. What is 0.287891. Okay. Now, which are the closest value? Okay. Here in this iteration number 3rd, which are the closest value here? Our value f of 1.75 and f of 1.625 is less than again 0. That means again the root are lying in between these two. Okay, this one and this two. Now here, therefore, what we have to do? We have to replace x0 by x2. Okay, and from this we can say that root lies in between 1.625 and next is nothing but 1.75. This is x0 and this is x1. Remember that these are the interval for next iteration, that is iteration number 4. For iteration number 4, iteration number 4, x0 is equal to what? x0 is equal to 1.625 and x1 is equal to what? 1.75. Okay. Now, for this iteration 4, this is the interval, and in this iteration 4, from this interval we can find the midpoint. x2 is equal to x0 plus x1 upon 2. Therefore, 1.625 plus 1.75 divided by 2. Solve this term. When you solve this term by making the addition of these two, x0 and x1, and after then divide by 2, we will get 1.625. This is the midpoint. Okay. Again we have to find out, we know f of x2. What is value of f of x2? That means f of, simply we have to put this value in this function, value of x 1.65625 here, make the cube, then again substitute the value of x here, make the square, multiply it by 1.8, again here substitute the value of 1.65625 into 10 and plus 7 and solve this term. That's in short what? By putting the value of x, that is 1.65625 in this function and solve this, obviously we will get 0.04 near out 317. Okay. We already found the value of x0. x0, that means f of by substituting the value of 165. When we substitute value of 1.625 in given in the same function, we already calculate that value, and that value is nothing but 287,891. Okay. Similarly, f of x1, this is value of this, and this is also calculated by us. That means when we substitute the value of this in next iteration, just a minute. This is iteration number 4. Okay. I will again, don't make confusion. I am again going to tell you. First of all, this is the value of x2. Before that, before substituting the value of x2 in this function, we have already calculated value of f of x0. That means here we substitute here 1.625. F of 1.625. Substitute this value in this, and we already calculated this value, and result is nothing but 0.287 first 3 digit and then 891 are next 3 digit. Then f of x1, that means f of next 1.75. We also have this value which is calculated in iteration number 3, and this is nothing but minus 0.6315 or 33125. Okay. And now f of x2, that is f of 1.65625. Substitute this value, and again here substitute the value of this, That means substitute 1.65625 in this function, calculate it or solve it by using calculator, and we will get the result minus 195,325. Okay, these are the values. Now from these three, here we can conclude that f of 1.625 and f of another value, that means 1.281 1.8 from this 1.68. okay, whatever it means. This is the value. Okay, 6875, correct. Okay, this is the value after putting this value in this equation. This is midpoint with this midpoint. This is value of x2, 6875. Put this value in this equation and then we get this value. Okay, 1.6875, correct. This value after substituting this value in this equation we will get this one. Okay, result. So little bit confusion is there myself. Okay, now when we take the product of these two value, that means this one and this one, obviously this is less than 0, and here we can replace x2 by, now we have to replace x1 by x2. Okay, and when we replace x1 by x2, obviously we have the root, and that root is lies in between x1 and x2. Root r lies between x1 and x2. That means 1.625 and 1.6875. The roots are lying between these. This is value of x0 again, and this value of x1. Okay. Now we have to take next iteration, and for that iteration the intervals are, for iteration last iteration 5, because here we have to find out the root up to 5 iteration. Okay, so x1 again, here x0 is equal to 1.625 and value of x1 is equal to 1.6875. Again from these two value calculate the midpoint. x2 is equal to x0 plus x1 upon 2. Substitute the value of x0, that is 1.625 plus 1.6875 divided by 2. Okay, good. Now solve this. Now we will get 1.65625. This is the value. Okay. Okay. Now from this, when you substitute this to x2, here we will get f of x2 is equal to, substitute value of x is equal to 1.65625 in this equation given function, and solve it, we will get 0.04317. Okay. We have already the value of f of x0, and that value is f of x0 is nothing but 1. When we substitute this value in this function and solve, we will get the answer 0.28791. Okay, and when we substitute, let's see this value in this function, and when you solve that by using calculator, we will get minus 0.195 first 3 digit and 325 next 3 digit. Now again from this calculation we can found that, or we can show that root lies in between x1 and x2 because these are the very closest to each other, these value, not this. And from this we can conclude that the next interval is, what is the next interval? First 1.6875. This is the first value, okay, value of x0. And next one, what? This one, 1.65625. Here, this is the value of x0 and x1. In between these, the root is lie. And after 5 iteration, approximate root center of x1 and x2, that means this 2 is simply root is equal to 1.6875 plus 1.65625 divided by 2. Solve this term, you will get 0.1.67. When we make the calculation addition of these two and divide by 2, we will get 671875. Okay, and obviously after 5 iteration, this is the root lies, this is the root of the given function, lies in between the latest interval 1.6875 and 1.65625. Okay, in this way we can solve many more problems like this for bisection method. Okay, now in next lecture we will see the C program for finding the root of given function by using bisection method. Till then we shall stop here. Have a good day. Thank you.